JB, can we just start with who didn't practice today?
Dean Wade did not practice today. Ty Jerome did not practice today.
What about Craig?
Craig, no, he did not. He's on crutches.
Okay. And then when it comes to Dean, is there any clarity whatsoever about game one yet?
No. And again, I apologize for continuing to punt it, but it is literally a how is today, tomorrow. But, my assumption is, he will not play in game one. And if he does play, it'll be later down the line.
Hey, JB, injuries. How does Donovan look to you, and how close do you think he is to full dive?
He did a great job today. We did some live stuff, and he participated in all of it. He was explosive. He looked like himself.
What kind of luxury is it just to be able to have this little bit of time to get him even closer?
I think the most important thing for us and our thought process going in is we want to try to be as healthy as we possibly could to give this group as fair a chance as possible. We've been through so much this season with the ins and outs and injuries and those types of things, and still found ourselves in a great position. So what we wanted to do, and we talked about it as an organization, is put our guys in the best position to be healthy, be full, and then just see exactly what this team is made of.
How do you assess a team's level of readiness going into the postseason?
It's a sense of focus and purpose and preparation. It's the conversations that they're having amongst themselves. It's how intent they're listening to, the instructions and paying attention to the game plan, and even in the stuff that we're doing, the execution of it. Again, I'm confident in this group. The guys who were here with us last year, who experienced it, and then bringing in the veterans that we did to help, that this group is going to be prepared to go come Saturday.
What do you think the two most important matchups in this series are?
I think we've got to do a great job on their two big guns. I think Wagner and Bancaro, we got to do the job of making their life miserable, making them have to earn everything, keeping them off the foul line, and making sure that one of those guys doesn't have a huge night. They have a really good bench. I think we saw that with Mo Wagner last time we played him here. Cole Anthony, those guys, right? They can put up numbers coming off the bench. So eliminating one or both of the stars, but then not letting a role player have an X factor type of game.
JB, one of the things as the season went on, you guys really tried to improve was dealing with size and athleticism. Orlando obviously brings a lot of that to the table. So just how do you think you guys have come along as a team in dealing with that and preparing yourself to play a team that possesses?
Again, to start with, obviously we've got 2 7-footers that present a ton of trouble and present a ton of size and can match up in different ways. They can match up downsize, they can go to the 5. Like, we're confident in those guys defending up and down the lineup. So that helps. And then we do have smaller guys who are, crafty enough, strong enough to guard bigger positions. I think Max has shown throughout the year that he can do it. Isaac has shown throughout the year that he can do it. And give George a ton of credit. Like, George has been really good for us defensively as well, guarding multiple positions. So we've got guys that we feel confident, although maybe shorter in stature, have the grit and the toughness to guard up a position as well.
How did last postseason's experience help you grow as a coach?
Again, I don't really, like to have those conversations. This is about what those guys do out there on the floor. We'll do our best to put them in position to be successful. And that's what my responsibility is. My responsibility is in the moment to find the way to put these guys in positions of success. And that's where, again, as a coach, always looking to improve. That's my thought process going forward.
You talked about...
Sorry.
Always looking for, do you think you benefited from it, though? I know you're hoping guys...
Yeah, you always do. In all of this stuff, we're in it together. There's no point in time, nothing that we go through where it's a players versus coaches and only players or only coaches take responsibility and blame. We're in this together, right? We love to celebrate our guys, give them all the credit for what we do, but we're always in the trenches with them. And anytime you go through an experience at all, whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, as a person, as a human being, the aim is always to continue to improve. So there's always something that you can learn from failures, from successes. And if you're not, then you might as well stop doing what you're doing because somebody else is working to be better than you.
JB, you could tell how much it hurt Donovan to sit out at all. He was so engaged during those games. What did that mean to the team to have a player of that stature be as in tune with everything as he was?
I mean, that's Donovan, and that's why, he is who he is and why he gives that extra juice to the guys when he's on the floor and when he's off the floor. Like, they look to him because they know he's got their back in any situation. And, he loves to play. He loves to be on the floor with his guys. So, it drains him to not be out there and be able to compete at the highest level with his guys. But, leadership can't be part-time, right? Whether you're injured or you're not playing well or, you're on the bench during the game, whatever the circumstances may be, your responsibility is to lead all the time. And I think Donovan's embraced that.
How do you describe your relationship with Jamal?
Our family spent All-Star break together. We've been, as close as friends can be for the past 20 years or so now. I don't think you can get any closer beyond family.
What's it like to have him be the one that's standing in your way?
Don't matter at all. We had a conversation Sunday night, and we both agreed this is the last time we'll speak, probably for the next 2.5, 3 weeks, and we'll go out and try to kick each other's butt.
I know you don't watch them that closely, but you could sense this team building this year, couldn't you? The Magic just in the way they were.
Yeah, and I watch them again, being as close to Jamal as I am, as any opportunity I get to watch him, I try my best to watch him. And you know what I mean? You see, and it wasn't just this year, it was last year as well. Last year they got off to a slow start because they had a bunch of injuries. Once they got back full and whole, they started playing well and competing at a high level, and you could see it coming. So when we played them in the preseason this year, it wasn't a surprise that this team was in the position they were in all year, and that now we're in this 4-5 matchup.
When you mentioned the experience, with Max, so what is it? Is it something they say in the locker room, do on the floor? How does that experience come to the fore?
It's more action, right? And again, they do speak their mind and they say things, but they know in the moment what's necessary to do. And when everybody around them sees them do those things in the moment, it gives them confidence and it shows them the way, and they follow suit. So again, we want them to talk, and they do, but talk goes so far, and you got to have the action, and those guys are actionable.
You played Orlando with Jonathan Isaac and without Jonathan Isaac at different points this season. What kind of matchup does he present?
He's unique because of his length, his ability to move his feet. More now, you see him doing more switching with him, so they do a lot of 1 through 5 switching when he's on the floor. Obviously he has the ability to space the floor as a shooter as well, but you watch him off ball, he's extremely intelligent when he cuts to the basket. So he's a guy that you always have to account for on the offensive end of the floor because he can hurt you in different ways. And then defensively, same thing, right? He can be a shot blocker at the rim, or he can switch out and be a perimeter defender also. Given
how different regular season and postseason basketball is, how much do you take from those 4 matchups against Orlando this year?
A lot. The physicality may change in the playoffs, but what teams' strengths are very rarely changes, if ever, in the playoffs, right? So Orlando is going to try to go to their strength, and you go back and you watch those 4 games. You watch, them versus other opponents who may have had success versus them, and you figure out what those strengths are, and then you build your defense or offense the best to take those away.
You referenced him earlier, but what impresses you most about Banchero, given his age and just his overall game, and then what do you guys have to do to kind of limit him?
He seems to be extremely poised, and this is something that we talk about. You don't talk about it often with guys as young as him, but he knows his game. He came into the league this is what I do, and not searching for it like a lot of young guys have to do. And that allowed him to be successful early, but then it gave him a higher baseline to build his talent on once he got more comfortable with the league. And, again, with him, you got to make it difficult. You can't allow him to get to his spots. He's a little bit different because he loves those mid-range shots, but you got to make sure that they're contested. Maybe they're 17, 18 feet contested as opposed to the 15 feet contested, but make him earn everything. They do a great job of getting to the free throw line. He does a great job with his pump fakes and getting people off the ground. So be extremely disciplined and make him have to earn everything over the top.
JB lost a lot of minutes this year with regulars being hurt. on the flip side, you won with a lot of different lineups. Can that be an advantage for you going into the postseason because of just the unpredictability? You could lose someone at the drop of a hat, whereas this year you guys have lost a lot of people, so it's easier for you to react.
Yeah, I mean,
The last question.
it's confidence, right? When guys get experience and opportunity to get on the floor and have success the way we did, it breeds confidence for them individually, but it also helps build trust. And that's the most important thing during these playoffs and adverse situations is the group has to trust one another. And if I know, because I've played with you, I've gone through tough moments, that I can depend on you and lean on you, it makes it easier for a guy to come in, fill a role, because now everybody believes in that guy and trusts him to make the right play.
All right, thanks.
All right.